folks, I'm Billy Pennell. Thanks for joining me for another of my musical moments. This is a real special one for me. I've been asked many times, who are your favourite singers? Who are your favourite guitar players? Who are your favourite drummers? Well, if somebody asked me who my favourite guitar players were, two of them would be Lonnie Mack, who we'll talk about at another time, and another one was Roy Buchanan, who I want to talk to you about right now. Roy was born in 1939 in a town of Ozark in Arkansas, in the deep south of the United States. In 1939, as I said, he died in 1988 at the young age of 48. Growing up, his parents would take him to revival meetings where he saw, as a child, up close the fervour of gospel music being sung by local people who he got a lot from because of the sincerity of the music and the way that they connected in their inner self with the music that they were performing. And so in that area there was a lot of other music that was floating around that he was able to latch onto. There was blues rock, there was rockabilly, there was country, and there was jazz. So he started off as a professional musician very young because he was so good. And he got to play in the Johnny Otis band. This is in his teens. And there was a bloke called Dale Hawkins who came from this area who had the original version of Susie Q. Well, Dale Hawkins had Roy in his band for a while, and then Dale Hawkins' cousin Ronnie Hawkins had a band called the Hawks, who would later become the band. And so Ronnie Hawkins also wanted to employ this amazing, young at the time, guitar player, so invited him to come and be part of the Hawks. And at the same time, another 18-year-old guitar player was also invited by Ronnie Hawkins to come and join the band. It was Robbie Robertson. And Robbie Robertson said many times, I'll elaborate on it in just a moment, what a wonderful teacher Roy Buchanan was to Robbie Robertson. So Roy now needs to pursue a solo career, and he gets to record in his lifetime 20 studio albums and 20 live albums, and during that time he makes an enormous impression on guitar players like David Gilmour. Jeff Beck, after Roy Buchanan's death, dedicated a song on Jeff's Blow by Blow album to Roy Buchanan. Nils Lofgren, who would later on become part of the East Street Band, he was a huge fan of Roy's, and as a young man he was too young to get into the clubs where Roy was playing. So Roy would sneak him in through a side door so that Nils could sit and watch this great guitar player up close. And he never wanted to be a rock star, as you'll see in just a moment. He's very conservative, quietly spoken, conservative on stage. And later on, Robbie Robertson never forgot the influence that Roy had on him as a man and as a musician. And Martin Scorsese would use Robbie Robertson quite often in many of his films as a music director, choosing soundtrack music. And for the film Unforgiven that Martin won an Oscar for, when the final credits come up at the end, the music is Roy Buchanan doing an electric guitar solo of Don Gibson's song Sweet Dreams of You. The piece I want to show you now was recorded for a live audience, and you'll see what I mean by Roy being conservative. And when he comes to the microphone to introduce this song that he wrote called The Messiah Will Come Again, he introduces a song with a monologue, but it's in a whisper. And the camera will pan onto the audience quite a bit during this performance, and they're sitting there, which I reckon I would have been too, in absolute awe of this extraordinary musician. And it's just a pleasure to be able to share his music with you today.
There's a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little town they call the world. Till one day a stranger appeared. He was a strange, lonely little and their hearts rejoiced. The sad little town was happy again. But there were some that doubted, they disbelieved, so they mocked him. And his friends went away. And the sad little town was sad yesterday. It's a lot sadder today. I walked in a lot of places I never should have been. But our Messiah, he will come again.